Yes. Oh, okay.
It's got to be on, right? 8 o'clock. Clerk Paul, can we call the council meeting to order, please?
Lennon,
Here.
Woodward,
Here.
Leisure,
Here.
Faith,
Here.
Pabon,
Here.
Ruiz,
Here.
Aranella,
Here.
Carmichael.
Here.
8 present here.
Can we all rise for the Pledge of Allegiance and please remain standing? Pledge allegiance to the flag. If we could please keep in our thoughts and prayers all the men and women we have on the street tonight. Thank you. If anybody wishes to address the open forum, please step forward this way, engage, state your name and address.
Hello. My name is George Lambesis, 3303 Grove Avenue. Good evening, Berwyn City Council, and thank you for allowing me to speak. My name is George Lambesis, and I am an 8-year Depot District resident. Although I am a 22-year District 100 employee, I would like to make it very clear from the start that I am not here as a representative of District 100, nor am I here to express the opinion or view of any administrator or school board member. On May 26th, 5th Ward Alderman Robert Pabon led a group of North Berwyn residents, many of whom are members of a Cicero-based political action committee, who spoke at a District 100 board meeting. This group of people, many of whom used threatening tones and attempted to coerce board members into voting for something that is neither in the best interest of District 100 nor in the best interest of the city of Berwyn. But that is not the reason why I have come here to speak. For nearly a year, Mr. Pabon and his cohorts have been filling social media with shameless untruths that are not related to any facts. No truth, no facts, no shame. Mr. Pabon had the time and inclination to attend a school board meeting for a school district that encompasses only one small part of his 5th ward, a part of his ward which, by the way, voted for his opponent in the February primary election. Mr. Pabon, however, did not attend his first aldermanic police and fire committee meeting last week. Where were you, Mr. Pabon? When you ran as a candidate for 5th Ward Alderman, one of your campaign issues was the police. You have been given a golden opportunity to make a difference in this community by providing input into public safety concerns. Yet attending a yard party seems to be your priority. Again, no truth, no facts, no shame. Mr. Pabon, the residents of the 5th Ward and the residents of Berwyn are counting on you to represent them. Please take your oath of office seriously. Let's not forget that you represent everyone in your ward, not just those who supported you, but everyone, regardless of race, religion, ethnicity, sexual orientation or sexual identification, or political affiliation. Yet you seem only interested in selective representation. Mr. Pabon, you cannot pull up one segment of the population by pulling down another. You and your supporters use half-truths, selective facts, and have no shame in doing so in order to further your agenda. This behavior is no better than that of MAGA and QAnon supporters. No truth, no facts, no shame. Through your anonymous Facebook page, you shamelessly encourage residents to thank elected officials for making a terrible, terrible mistake that does not benefit any of the constituencies that you claim it benefits. No truth, no facts, no shame. Mr. Pabon, you and your supporters practice is to racially divide this community, to impede progress that will benefit the whole community by misinterpreting the term gentrification, by misleadingly implying that people of color will be displaced, by demanding that other governmental bodies do your bidding. I am positive of the fact that once more development is proposed for Berwyn, that you and your cohorts will once again oppose it? How will we attract more businesses and finally begin to support existing businesses if we do not create more foot traffic around the Depot District? How will we lessen the tax burden on homeowners without attracting viable businesses to our city? Berwyn has always been a very unique community. It is a stop on the immigrant journey towards upward mobility. It is a place where blue-collar and white-collar residents have lived together for over a century. My mother, a Greek immigrant, and my mother-in-law, a Mexican immigrant, have both experienced firsthand the prejudices of others. My mother-in-law was not allowed to join the PTA at my wife's school in the 1980s. My mother was not welcomed by the other native-born mothers in my neighborhood and was made fun of because of her accent by other neighborhood children. While these painful memories cannot be erased, my wife and I are very aware of the importance of making all of our neighbors feel welcome and included. Everyone is entitled to be heard, Mr. Pabon, and you have a bully pulpit to bring positive change to Berwyn. We cannot be one community when there are leaders in this city who create divisiveness through lies, unsubstantiated so-called facts, and shamelessness that benefits no one while promoting race baiting, ignorance, and hate. Thank you.
Could you leave a copy with the clerk, please? Anybody else wish to address the open forum? Step forward, please. State your name and address.
Good evening. My name is Joseph, and my pronouns are he, him, and I live in the 7th District at the intersection of 18th and Wisconsin. I'm here today as a representative of the Queer Berwyn Collective and a member of the LGBTQIA+ community and a proud and vocal bisexual and queer person here. Today, this city will again vote on a proclamation honoring Pride Month and will fly a pride flag at City Hall, and has been doing every June since at least 2017. I believe it is important to understand the history of why June is recognized as Pride Month and who it represents. In June 1969, the Stonewall Riot was recognized as the first Pride, and it was started by two transgender women of color, Marsha P. Johnson and Sylvia Rivera, who at the time could be legally arrested for wearing clothes that affirms their identity. From that iconic riot, Pride Month was established to bring visibility, remember the protests and fights our community has endured, and continue to say while we are here and we're not going anywhere. Our community consists of people of different sexual orientations, gender identities, and sexual characteristics, and is represented by dozens of flags besides just the rainbow. The queer community of Berwyn is fed up with the lack of visibility, the recognition of the community, and the lack of actions taken. We are here to ask, what policies and steps has the city of Berwyn actually made to put these words into action? What progress has been made since the first proclamation was passed? Last week, the First Ward at the prominent Oak Park and Windsor intersection debuted a pride sign with the text, "Happy Pride" across the top, Lennon in large block letters across the entire middle, and more Alderman Scott Lennon branding across the bottom that was there. We came here to ask Alderman Lennon why you chose to continue to use this sign at that prominent intersection. Why did the sign mysteriously disappear this afternoon? This month is not Gay Pride. Saying so excludes the majority of the LGBTQIA+ communities such as lesbians, bisexuals, transgender, intersex, and queer folk. Pride is not a political platform, and the way he has represented our community is offensive and unacceptable. We demand that Pride events no longer be ran by Alderman Scott Lennon and be taken over by Queer Berwyn Collective, which is made up of a diverse group of queer individuals, event professionals who can curate and fully inclusive Pride experience and show that Berwyn can celebrate our community as a whole. In light of these two issues, we call on the city to put their proclamation into action by concrete action. We want you to update the city employee handbook to include all members of the LGBTQIA community, including gender expression and sexual characteristics, as types of discrimination that the city prohibits. Update all vendor contracts to include all types of discrimination that the city prohibits. Implement a policy for restroom access for transgender employees and residents in government buildings, which should include non-gendered restrooms. Implement a recruitment and retention plan for LGBTQIA+ employees. Implement or communicate inclusive family-related family-related benefits plans. Implement that business licenses will be revoked if businesses violate discrimination laws. Model inclusive language, including pronouns, eliminating the word preferred from any language as someone's identity is not a preference. Train all departments in LGBTQIA+ community issues, inclusive language, and continue the education on an ongoing basis. If a flag is to be flown at City Hall, fly the progress flag with no political logos nor text on it. We also want to ensure that the flag and sign with Lenin's name written across it is no longer on city property and is replaced with the progress flag with no political logos nor text on it. Thank you. I am Joseph. This is the Berwyn Collective.
Thank you. Sir, would you send a copy of that, please, to the clerk? When you get a chance, email her a copy, please. Anybody else? Okay, Marge?
Thank you, Mayor. I received 2 email comments that I'll summarize. The first one was from Jonathan Pallas. He wrote he wanted to express concern about item J4 on the agenda, the purchase authorizing the Celebrate UFED system. The $15,000 plus expense is an investment in reactive policing, which doesn't have clear policies of use associated with it. Mr. Pallas is concerned that without transparent policies in place, this incredibly powerful surveillance tool may be used to obtain personal private data without warrant. He's also concerned that the police department has not offered any insight into the policies regarding when police should use this tool, what data they will access, where and how securely data will be stored, and how long it will be stored. He requests that before the purchase is made, that the following recommendations would be put into place: to present a clear description of the type of data the system can pull, a no consent policy, meaning that the department can only search phones with a warrant, clearly documented policy of when the device can or cannot be used, logs of how frequently the device is utilized and the amount and severity of convictions as a result of the tool, a clear policy regarding the type of data that will be stored, where it will be stored, how long it will be stored for, and what security measures will be in place. As a person who works in IT, the idea of all personal data, personal private cloud data being shared on a police desktop sounds like a security nightmare. He also requests a compensation policy for the use of Celebrate system by other police departments, and he hopes that the board will consider the impact a surveillance tool like this has and how it could be a huge overreach of local municipal, the local overreach of a local municipality into the personal and private data of citizens. I received a second email from Summer Butler. Ms. Butler would like to invite everyone to the upcoming Juneteenth Unity Fest, Saturday, June 19th, between 2 and 7 p.m. at 1529 South Harlem, the parking lot of the old VFW building. Local vendors and artists will share their craft with the public through art, music, health, skincare, textiles. The Unity Fest features Black-owned and women-owned businesses as well as community-based nonprofits committed to empowerment. She goes on to give a brief history of Juneteenth. As it's celebrated on June 19th, it commemorates the effective end of slavery in the U.S. Months after the Emancipation Proclamation was signed, federal troops arrived in Texas to tell enslaved people that they were free. Celebrating Juneteenth is one way to recognize the complexities of our history from nation to town level. She's hopeful that as a community, we will continue to build stronger relationships in our diversity and improve what so many neighbors before have committed themselves to. She also recognizes several people and thanks them for their effort to promote diversity. Thank you.
Alderman, anything for open forum? Item C1 then?
Item C1 are the City Council minutes of May 25th, 2021.
I will make a motion to approve the regular city council meeting minutes of May 25th, 2021.
Second.
Motion by Lennon, seconded by Faith to approve the Berwyn City Council minutes of May 25th, 2021. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Item D1, please.
Item D1 is a bid award recommendation for the CDBG project year 2020 and 2021 shared sidewalks program.
I'd like to make like to recommend the motion that we concur with the recommendation of Director Schiller's proposal. No, I'm sorry. I'd like to make a motion to concur with Director Schiller's recommendation for the award of Public Project Year 2020 CBDG and 2021 cost-shared sidewalk replacement projects to the lowest bidder, M&J Asphalt Paving Company, with the bid amount of $284,795 plus a 5% contingency. Total construction project not to exceed $299,035. And adopt the resolution and affix the necessary signatures and send it on its way to passage.
I don't think we have a resolution.
I don't have that? I thought I saw one. Oh, is this resolution for something else?
I don't have a
Oh,
resolution.
okay, sorry.
Yes.
My apology.
One,
So
yes.
I strict that.
That's okay. Yeah.
I'll second that.
Motion by Ruiz, seconded by Fate, to concur with the recommendation of Director Schiller and award the CDBG Project Year 2020 and the CDBG in 2021 cost-shared sidewalk program to the low bidder, M&J Asphalt Paving Company, with the bid amount of $284,795 plus the 5%. Total construction cost $299,35. All those in favor on the call of the roll.
Lennon.
Aye.
Roywood.
Aye.
Leisure.
Aye.
Fate.
Aye.
Pabon.
Aye.
Ruiz.
Aye.
Aranella.
Aye.
Carmichael.
Aye.
8 ayes, Mayor.
Motion carried. Item E1, please.
Item E1 is a communication and resolution submitted by the BDC. The resolution reads, a resolution authorizing and approving the issuance of certain commercial loan to the Right Price Auto Corporation and Dave Seanoth, payable to the Berwyn Development Corporation for the City of Berwyn, County of Cook, State of Illinois.
I motion to adopt the resolution issuing a commercial loan to Right Price Auto located at 6844 16th Street, affix the necessary signatures and send it on its way to passage.
Second.
Motion by Arnell, second by Ruiz, to adopt the resolution approving the commercial loan to Right Price Auto at 6844 16th Street, affix the necessary signatures and place on its way to passage. All those in favor on the call of the roll.
Lennon.
Aye.
Roywood.
Aye.
Leisure.
Aye.
Fate.
Aye.
Pabon.
Aye.
Ruiz.
Aye.
Aranella.
Aye.
Carmichael.
Aye.
8 ayes, Mayor.
Motion carried. Item F1, please.
Item F1 is a proclamation honoring Pride Month. Whereas the City of Berwyn cherishes the value and dignity of each person and appreciates the importance of equality and freedom. And whereas all are welcome in the City of Berwyn to live, work, play, and every family in any shape deserves a place to call home where they are safe, happy, and supported by friends and neighbors. And whereas the City of Berwyn denounces prejudice and unfair discrimination based on age, gender identity, gender expression, race, color, religion, marital status, national origin, sexual orientation, or physical attributes as an affront to our fundamental principles. And whereas Pride Month began in June of 1969, on the one-year anniversary of the Stonewall Uprising in New York City, after LGBTQ plus and allied friends rose up and fought against the constant police harassment and discriminatory laws that have since been declared unconstitutional. And whereas the rainbow flag is widely recognized as a symbol of pride, inclusion, and support for social movements that advocate for LGBTQ plus people in society, and whereas the City of Berwyn appreciates the cultural, civic, and economic contributions of lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, plus, LGBTQ plus community, which strengthen our social welfare. And whereas it is imperative that young people in our community, regardless of sexual orientation, gender identity, and expression, feel valued, safe, empowered, and supported by their peers and community leaders. And whereas, while society at large increasingly supports LGBTQ plus equality, it is essential to acknowledge that the need for education and awareness remains vital to end discrimination and prejudice. And whereas, despite being marginalized, LGBTQ plus people continue to celebrate authenticity, acceptance, and love. Now therefore be it resolved that I, Mayor Robert J. Lavero, and the members of the Berwyn City Council declare the month of June 2021 as LGBTQ plus Pride Month in the City of Berwyn. authorize the flying of the LGBTQ plus flag flown at our City Hall during Pride Month to show support of of the LGBTQ plus community, and urge residents to recognize the contributions made by the members of the LGBTQ plus community and to actively promote the principles of equality, liberty, and justice entered upon the records of the City of Berwyn this 8th day of June, 2021.
I'll make a motion to adopt this resolution and fix the necessary signatures and send it on its way to passage.
Second.
Motion by Lennon, seconded by Roywood to adopt the resolution and fix the necessary signatures and place it on its way to passage. All those in favor?
Lennon?
Resolutions, I usually don't do call the roll.
Okay, thank you, Mayor.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Item G1, please.
Item G1 is an informational communication from the clerk regarding the status of the Open Meetings Act training.
Be my motion to consider as informational.
Second.
Motion by Fate, seconded by Leonard, considers informational. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Item I1, please.
Item I1 is a communication from Alderman Leisure regarding minutes of the Fire and Police Aldermanic Committee.
I make a motion to accept the minutes from the Fire and Police Committee meeting on June 2nd as informational.
Second.
Motion by Leonard, seconded by Roywood to consider informational. All those in favor?
Aye.
The ayes have it. Opposed? I'm sorry. The ayes have it. Item I2, please.
Item I2 is a communication from Alderman Lennon regarding Berwyn Pride Walk, Saturday, October 2nd, 2021 update.
I'd like to defer this communication until next council meeting.
Second.
Motion to defer by Leonard, seconded by Fate. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Item I3, please.
Item I3 is a communication from Alderman Carmichael regarding city services for the Juneteenth event.
I'd like to make a motion to adopt the request for one auxiliary police officer to direct traffic crowd control for the Juneteenth celebration being held at 15th and Harlem on June 19th, 2021.
Second.
Chief Semaglia has a comment he wants to review first.
I just have a couple of questions. First, it's got to be at least 2 officers for officer safety purposes. Second, who's going to pay for the officers? Am I going to build a park district like we normally do for park district events? Or is somebody from the event going to pay for it, or is the city going to eat the cost?
Somebody from the event will pay for it.
Okay, so then I need a contact person,
Yeah.
who to send the invoice to?
That can
And what are the hours? It's all in the letter?
yeah,
1:30 to 7:30.
1:30 to 7:30.
Okay, I'll get the invoice then, and whoever,
Alderman,
Yeah.
do you want them a little earlier or not? You-
No, that is a
Just
little
1:30
earlier.
to 7:30?
Yep.
Okay.
okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, I have a motion by Carmichael, seconded by Ruiz to allow the police presence, 2 officers,
Yep.
from 1:30 to 7:30. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Item J1, please.
Item J1 is a communication from City Attorney Anthony Bertucco regarding settlement of 20 CV 00565.
I'll make a motion to approve settlement number 20CV00565 for the amount of $30,000.
Second.
Motion by Lennon, second by Ruiz to concur with the recommendation from executive session and award in case number 20 CV 00565 up to the amount of $30,000. All those in favor, on the call the roll.
Lennon?
Aye.
Roywood?
Aye.
Leisure?
Aye.
Fate?
Aye.
Pabon?
Abstain.
Ruiz?
Aye.
Arinella?
Aye.
Carmichael?
Aye.
7 ayes, Mayor.
Motion carried. Item J2, please.
J2 is a communication from Attorney Bertucco regarding settlement of 20 CV 6931.
I'll make a motion to approve the settlement of case number 20CV6931 for the amount of $70,000.
Second.
Motion by Lennon, seconded by Ruiz to concur with the recommendation as approved in executive session for case number 20 CV 6931, the amount of $70,000. All those in favor, on the call the roll.
Lennon?
Aye.
Roywood?
Aye.
Leisure?
Aye.
Fate.
Aye.
Pabon.
Abstain.
Could you speak up, please? a little?
Abstain.
Okay. Ruiz.
Aye.
Arinella.
Aye.
Carmichael.
Aye.
7 ayes, Mayor.
Motion carried. Item J3, please.
Item J3 is communication from Chief Semaglia regarding police open house.
You want to address this, Chief?
Yeah, just the time's wrong on the informational. It's not gonna go till 6, it's gonna be shorter. I believe it's only gonna go till about 2 o'clock, from 9 to 2,
On August 14th, Saturday,
August 14th, yes.
open house.
That's
Is
it.
this an outdoor or indoor event, Chief?
It's gonna be both. We're gonna have
Okay.
guided tours of the police station, we're gonna have NIPAS vehicles out there, we're gonna have police cars, we're inviting the fire department, public works. We're gonna try to put some games for the kids with the explorers, so we'll have everything going on.
Okay, great, thank you.
Motion to consider informational.
I make a motion to consider this informational.
Second.
Motion by Leisure, seconded by Lennon to consider informational. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Item J4, please.
Item J4 is a communication from Chief Semaglia, request to purchase Celebrate.
Chief,
Detective Fellows will address this.
Okay,
and then
great.
answer
Thank
your
you.
questions for you, okay?
thank you. Hi, how
Hi.
are you?
Michael,
Oh,
what do you have
I'm
to say?
sorry. I thought he was coming up to
Hold the question
talk.
so you could address this.
Please,
Oh,
what's your
okay.
question?
Well, I mean, I just would like a little bit of information, because as you know, we have this domain communication, and I'm just, would like your expert opinion on some of the issues that were brought up in here, and then what the need is, and just have a clear understanding about it, if you don't mind.
Sure. Our department currently has a program that does something similar to this. It's called Secure View. It's not providing the information and the product that we need in order to further these investigations. Celebrate is one of the leading products that does this type of data extraction. As you saw in that letter, along with the communication, some of the cases that we've had recently, we've had to send detectives to neighboring communities to use this system. So it's not only the cost, but it's also a cost benefit, because now that investigator is having to spend hours elsewhere where he could be utilizing the system and the tool here and still being able to do other duties. So like I said, so it's not only just the cost of the product, but actually it is a cost benefit.
And when exactly would something like this is required or needed, like in what type of situation?
So obviously technology is becoming almost a daily occurrence. Cell phones are utilized in a lot of different things. So the reason a tool like this would be used, it's utilized for victims if they have something that they want to provide to us, or if we have offenders' phones, we will extract data from them too, always with legal process.
Okay, gotcha.
Also, always with what?
Legal process.
Okay, so this is not a tool or resource that would be used like at our stops and seatbelt checks and
No,
things like that?
No,
It's
this-
more in an investigative
This
process?
tool started with us when we got involved in the ICAC program, which is the Internet Crimes Against Children program.
Okay.
So that's when we got the original product that we have. It's just not working with some of the complicated cases that we're getting now.
Okay, thank you, I appreciate that.
I do have some questions on
Go
that
ahead.
as well. With regards to the, like a traffic stop, this new Celebrate version is coming with a mobile extraction tool as well to be able to do that in the field?
The tool can be used in the field, that's correct.
And is that policy? Is that what you're gonna do? Are you gonna use it in the field moving forward?
The tool will be used in the field, again, with legal process, and not used on a traffic, like the seatbelt checks and things like that. We use it to extract data from phones within investigations.
Sure, and what would be the benefit of using it in the field?
If a person can't come to the police station and we want to offer them a service to go out to their home and use it out there, there is a mobile part to it.
And that would be with a warrant, without a warrant?
So there's two types of legal process that we use in regards to some of this. There is a warrant,
Sure.
which is normally used, especially when we're dealing with offenders' phones.
Yeah.
But we do offer, victims, witnesses, things like that, the opportunity to consent to our search.
And with that consent, are the people who are consenting to that would be both like people who are volunteering information as well as people who are apprehended?
Can you repeat that question?
Would that be just like a victim volunteering that information versus someone who's been apprehended, suspect? They would both be consenting to that search?
It could be either or. However, usually if it's a suspect in custody, we use a warrant.
Okay. But there's no, like, do you have a protocol for that? Like, is there?
It's like any other criminal investigation.
Correct.
Should a suspect decide to waive his rights and volunteer information, he
Right.
can in this case. But if he doesn't, then they have to get a warrant in order to do anything with the phone.
Sure. So I just worry about like that consent part, because I'm sure you know that consent usually tends to disproportionately affect minorities who are being put through the process.
Usually if we're using a consent portion of it, it's all being electronically recorded anyway,
Sure.
so there'll be a video of the consent.
Okay. And there will be an electronic log for that as well?
Yeah.
So, okay. And then in terms of data storage, how are you storing that data?
So in regards to the data storage part of it, it's technically considered evidence. So evidence falls underneath the normal practices of our police department, and all of our evidence is stored within our secured evidence vault.
In
Okay.
accordance with the statutes.
And so I saw something in the letter that was talking about making a backup of the phone onto a computer, and then that computer hard drive is being switched out after X number of times?
Yeah, I saw that there. I don't know what he's talking about.
Okay. That part's kind of important to me because I want to know if that computer is connected to the internet. If it's anything that's connected to the internet can be hackable. I want to know kind of the size of the storage on there. There was some stuff in here about only one computer in the actual office can run the newer software. So I want to kind of know do you know like the RAM capabilities of the other computers? Was that like the issue or?
No, the issue that he's talking about in the letter, when we had conversation with the IT department, they
Yeah.
believe that this program can run on one of our current, however they spec out the computers for all of the city departments.
Sure.
Obviously, when we're dealing with hundreds of gigabytes of memory that what some of these phones can have,
Right.
A program like this can be bogged down by that amount of data.
Yeah.
So the part on my proposal that I gave to the chief was just saying that we're more than happy to try one of the existing computers that the city has. However, if the product isn't functioning how it should process these phones, then we may need to look at a new computer with a faster processor.
Okay. Well, you couldn't just upgrade the processor on the existing computers.
And again, that would come through IT.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I really want the answer to that question about that one computer with the hard drive where
So the way that it works is it's all run separate. So if we're taking data from the phone, it goes onto an external drive. That becomes our evidence. That evidence is then stored in our evidence vault.
and that's
it's not
each individual drive is
Correct.
for
But it
every,
has-
every phone has its own individual drive that's being stored.
Correct. That's how it would have to be, because we need to hold on to that evidence for cases that we're moving forward. It doesn't stay on any one specific computer.
Sure.
Because, as you said, it's evidence, and we follow the best practices.
Yeah.
Okay, that are put out there. So everything is, it's all removed, placed on its own external media, and then placed into the evidence vault.
Okay, but that's not quite what it says in here. It says that the computers are filling up with memory, so you're having to switch out after X number of processing of phone data. That's kind of the issue that I'm trying to get more information on is just how that data is being stored. Is that like now, is that one hard drive have multiple phones on it? Do you literally have one hard drive for each individual person? Can you search across like the different phones? Are you know, that's kind of the information that I'm looking for.
And again, you're speaking of what, the thing that Detective McGrath sent, or something that was in my proposal?
Yeah, Detective
Okay.
McGrath.
So again, the way that the cases are worked is every phone is again, done individually.
Yeah.
And it's removed from I believe he's using a laptop now, and they're removed from the laptop and placed in evidence. And again, I think where Detective McGrath was going with it was, because again, he's dealing with probably an older laptop, okay, that it isn't able to run it as efficiently as I believe it needed to be. But in regards to the evidence part of it, it's removed from the laptop, placed in its own media, and then placed in their evidence phone
Every phone?
every time.
Okay.
We have to. There's chain of custody that
Sure.
that the state attorney's office wants to see. So it can't sit on a laptop in someone's desk, you know what I mean?
Right.
Because ultimately, we're gonna get those questions from the county prosecutor.
Yeah.
So no, every case, every phone gets taken from the workstation that it comes from,
Yeah.
placed on its own external media, and put into our evidence vault.
So every single one has its own external hard drive?
Yes.
That's quite a bit of money.
Well, it all depends on what we're collecting. It
Yeah.
could be a small CD or a DVR.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it could be something that small.
Right.
We're not ultimately always taking, the hundreds of gigabytes of data.
Yeah.
We may only need a small portion of it.
Sure. And what are you doing to limit, like, the scope? Because obviously there's tons of sensitive information on a phone. It's basically a view into somebody's life. So
Sure, unfortunately, you just have to review it.
Mhm.
It takes having a review for what you're looking for.
Okay.
If you're looking for, CP or child pornography, you're reviewing the inside of the phone to see if that type of media is there. If it is, that's what's going off into the evidence side.
Okay. And then, I believe it was in Mr. McGrath's letter, he had spoke of that you can't get emojis and GIFs, and with this new one you would be able to, and it's more readable? Is that?
Correct. Celebrate is a more user-friendly product.
Sure.
And again, I think that's why most police departments are going towards this product.
Yeah.
Because not only is it user-friendly for us, but also when it comes to the prosecution side, the state attorneys, they like to see things where they can click buttons and pull pictures up and things like that.
Yeah.
So Celebrate is a far more user-friendly product.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, just the way that it was framed in here, it sounded like it was like that officers who were trained would be the ones who are processing this data. Is that not the case?
I didn't hear that part.
Officers who are trained would be the ones processing that
Correct.
data?
As part of that proposal, we are requesting 2 analysts or 2 detectives that will be trained in to Celebrate.
Yeah.
Because again, not only is that needed to run the product specifically, but also on the testimony and prosecutor. They're the detectives that would get this certification. They can't testify, they can't do anything without those trainings and those certifications in order to move forward.
And so Celebrate, they do like a certification?
That's correct. It's part of the
And
proposal.
Is there a test for that, or is that just going to a meeting, or how does that work?
I believe it's like a week-long class, but don't quote me on that one.
Week-long.
I know it's rather, it has a little bit of teeth to it.
Sure. Do you know if there's like an assessment to say that they had passed or failed the class?
I could verify that for you. I don't want to answer that without knowing specifically.
Sure. Yeah, so I mean, that's just, I want a little bit more information on this. I don't know if I can make a motion to table this until we're able to get more information.
You can make a motion to defer it.
Yeah. Make a motion to defer this until we're able to get more information regarding the specific questions.
Motion to defer by Carmichael, seconded by Papone. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, take a roll call, please.
Lennon?
Aye.
Boywood?
Aye.
Wait, is it aye, or are we voting for it or against?
Aye is on the motion to defer.
Okay. Nay.
Nay.
Pabon? Ruiz?
Nay.
Marinella?
Nay.
Carmichael?
Aye.
4-4, Mayor.
Okay, it comes a tiebreaker to me. I don't see a reason to defer. I think they've done enough investigation. We can get you the answers that you're requiring from the school, from the Celebrate. So I would deny the motion to defer. Do I have a motion to act on the request?
I make a motion to concur with Police Chief Semaglia to purchase the Celebrate telephone extraction tool for a total initial cost of $15,885, which includes training and certifying for 2 analysts, an annual maintenance licensing fee of the $4,300.
Second.
Motion by Leja, seconded by Ruiz, to concur with the request of Chief Semaglia and allow him to purchase the Celebrate cell phone extraction tool for the initial cost of $15,885, including the 2 training and the annual fee. All those in favor on the call of the roll?
Lennon?
Aye.
Roywood?
Aye.
Leisure?
Aye.
Fate?
Aye.
Pabon? Ruiz?
Aye.
Marinella?
Aye.
Carmichael?
No.
6-2, Mayor.
Motion carried. Item J5, please.
J5 is a communication from Public Works Director Schiller requesting execution of the Depot District Phase 3 construction engineering contract.
I'd like to make a motion that we concur with the recommendation of Director Schiller to award the construction engineering for the depot utility and streetscape project to post year for a fee of 6.5% of the construction costs, or an estimated $1,950,000 for the depot utility and streetscape project, and affix the necessary signatures and send it on its way to passage.
Second.
Motion by Ruiz, seconded by Lennon, to concur with the recommendation of Director Schiller and award the construction engineering for the Depot Utility Streetscape Project to Postal Yor for a fee of 6.5% of the construction costs, estimated at $1,950,000 for the streetscape project, affix the necessary signatures for execution, placed on its way to passage. All those in favor on the call of the roll.
Lennon?
Aye.
Roywood?
Aye.
Leisure?
Aye.
Fate?
Aye.
Pabon?
Aye.
Ruiz?
Aye.
Marinella?
Aye.
Carmichael?
Aye.
8 ayes, Mayor.
Motion carried. Item J6, please.
J6 is a communication from Mr. Schiller. It's a recommendation to approve contract extension for owner's representative services for the Depot Utility Streetscape Project.
I'd like to make a motion to concur with the Director Schiller's recommendation, staff recommending approval of the contract extension for project management advisors to continue to provide owner's representation services for phases 1 and 2 of the depot construction project, not to exceed the cost of $707,000 to be funded from existing grants. That's it.
Second.
Motion by Ruiz, seconded by Lennon, to concur with the recommendation of Director Schiller and allow the extension for project management advisors to provide owner's representation at a cost not to exceed $707,000 for the depot construction project as provided through our grants and utility funding. All those in favor on the call of the roll.
Lennon?
Aye.
Roywood?
Aye.
Leisure?
Aye.
Fate?
Aye.
Pabon?
Aye.
Ruiz?
Aye.
Marinella?
Aye.
Carmichael?
Aye.
8 ayes, Mayor.
Motion carried. The consent agenda.
Make a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented and add the germane case 6.
Yeah, it's in there.
Second.
Motion to approve the consent agenda is presented by Lennon, seconded by Fate. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Alderman and committee meetings. Alderman Lennon.
I'd like to call a budget and finance meeting for June 22nd at 6 p.m. here at City Hall.
Alderman Roywood.
Call the chair.
Alderman Major.
Call of the chair.
Alderman Fate.
Call the chair.
Alderman Pabon.
Call the chair.
Alderman Ruiz.
Call the chair.
Alderman Marinella.
Call the chair.
Alderman Carmichael.
Call the chair.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn
Second.
by Lennon, seconded by Ruiz. All those in favor?
Aye.
Marinella, I'm sorry. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
The ayes have it. Thank you.
Elisa, did you make that last second, or was that?
That was
Alderman
me.
Marinella?
So let's make sure we know what the time is. I want to say it's 8 to 12. You have to work? Oh. Okay. And then let me know if you can see me or I'm going to you.
You got a handy guy?
Not really. Just sometimes if I ask nice enough.
Take care, Rob.
Depends on what it is. Stuff that he knows I do.
Right.